Welcome, everybody, to episode 6 of Getting Personal with Web3 Founders. I'm Jack, your host, and I'm very, very excited to be here today with Marc, aka Stealthy Ninja, co-founder of the After Dark Social Club. Are you ready to get personal, Marc?
I'm ready, man. I'm ready. I've been enjoying the series so far. I think you've got about six episodes. It's been entertaining to watch, man. So I'm happy to be here.
Nice. Let's get straight into it with my same question to get going. As always, it is one of my favorites, I must say. Who were you before Web3? Who was Marc before the fangs, before everything that you're working on at the moment?
Yeah, I love that question. Honestly, man, I was basically just a regular guy. Working full time. I still do work full time, but I've always kind of had a hustler mentality, I guess. Like looking for ways out of the rat race, I guess you could say. So, even from a young age in high school, I was looking for opportunities like modifying people's Xboxes, stuff like that. Um, and then I went to school for computers and basically like IT. But I ended up not really liking that field. And so most of my full-time work has been like a tradesman or technician kind of work, which it's a lot different when you think of like Web3, right? But I've always been a nerd at heart for sure. So, but yeah, I've always been passionate about tech, like new tech, and I've always been very computer savvy. So crypto Web3, um, it was a very attractive thing to me to look into. I should have looked into it a lot earlier, though. So
As we all say, yeah.
yeah, man.
How were you introduced to Web3? How was that first moment, that first impression? How did that happen?
Um, well, I've always been a curious person. I looked into crypto, man. I looked into crypto a long time ago. Like, I think the first time I was looking into buying Bitcoin, it was around 600 Canadian. Um, and at that time, I didn't know you could buy fractionalized, fractionalized portions of it. So I thought it was like a stock or a share. So I had told my ex-girlfriend at the time. I said, let's get Bitcoin. I get paid on Friday. Like, let's buy one. When I get paid, we'll go half on one, right? And then Friday came and it was 1,200. I'm like, okay, well, we can't afford it, so I guess we'll let it slip by. And then years later, when I actually did get into crypto, Bitcoin was in the 60,000 range or something. It was a big difference. And
You never bought that Bitcoin, huh?
no, man, not until it was like 60,000, and I didn't buy it. I didn't actually buy it to buy it. I bought it to get into another coin called SafeMoon because like that's what everybody was
Mm.
talking about at the time, and somebody on like my Facebook was asking how to buy it, so I got intrigued, and I'm like, if this thing's hard to buy, it sounds interesting to me. So I went and like looked into how to buy it and went through the rabbit hole of Binance Smart Chain and all that. But yeah, I've always been interested in it, but I didn't take the dive until it was about maybe almost 3 years ago now. Um, when I got into crypto, yeah.
And why After Dark Social Club? How did it come about? What's the goal for you personally? Tell us a little bit of the origin story.
Oh man, it's a long origin story because I actually don't even remember how long ago we uh like had initially spoken about it, me and Ray. But it was a long time. It was a long time ago, man. I think at the end of 2022, or mid 2022 was when we started discussing it. As for the motivation, me and Ray, we both, as you can see, like you guys know us, right? Like we're both very ingrained in the ecosystem and NFTs and DeFi, all that stuff. So we've been a part of a lot of projects, a lot of communities across various ecosystems, and um, we didn't fall in love with any ecosystems other than Solana until we got into HBAR. So it was kind of like the stars aligning. We really fell in love with the HBAR ecosystem and the tech. And we had always wanted to kind of take what we liked about a lot of communities we were in and not do things that we didn't like from a lot of communities. At the end of the day, there's no playbook, right? It's still a very new NFTs are like a very new thing still. But we always knew we wanted to do something, and actually I had actually started or attempted 2 projects prior on Solana, not on HBAR. At that time, I didn't know about HBAR. We never made it to mint or anything, or so we didn't take anybody's money, which is great because I was able to learn invaluable lessons in those processes. Thankfully, without minting, right? Because that would have been a whole issue if it was a failed mint project. It's a lot different, right? But luckily, we didn't make it to mint. It was just me losing money. But at the end of the day, I learned a lot on those 2 projects. I do really feel like being a founder is tough. I would be surprised at anybody who gets it right on the first time. There's so many lessons to learn, right? But yeah, that's how the journey started, I would say, summed up.
And if I could ask, those 2 projects on Solana, what was it that didn't allow you to get to mint? Like, what were the biggest lessons of those ventures?
The first one, this was a very long time ago, so I'm talking maybe within the first year that I was into Solana, and at that time, it was a different climate. Okay, so there wasn't like roadmaps, utility, any of that stuff. So to my naive mind, right, I had thought, look at all these people launching projects, right? It must be easy to do it. And I'd spoken to a friend of mine, and we went and found an artist and looked into, and basically we found out like there's way more to it. Learning the coding at the time, again, this was a lot earlier, so there wasn't things like hash lips. You guys have an amazing suite of tools as well at Kabila, right? There just wasn't all those dev tools, or it was, you had to go and find like the Git book the GitHub, and look through things yourself and try and basically we had to learn a bit of coding just to even figure out how to mint on that first attempt. So that first attempt, I was just completely out of my depth. And then the second time, it was just an overly ambitious idea. So we wanted to make kind of like an idle gaming or RPG kind of thing, which it's kind of funny because the idea was I kind of ahead of its time because the Heist is a really popular project, and there's quite a few idle gaming projects now on Solana and Ethereum as well. But that kind of thing, just it takes a lot of resources, right? So we bit off more than we could chew, and we knew that we weren't going to be able to deliver the best product, right? So I mean, if you're not able to deliver, there's no point to continue, right? So but they were both really great lessons learned. I learned a lot on both of those endeavors. And Ray was kind of he wasn't on the team, but he was like part of that process on the second project. So he also learned a lot. It was a good learning experience for us both. Yeah.
Amazing, very very insightful.
Mhm.
So now in your life, like you're fully immersed in Web3. How do you describe what you do to a family member, someone who's not of this world? Like how do you explain what a fang is? Like what are you up to with these
I
different
don't,
things?
man. I don't. I gave up on trying to do that. I basically I just say I have a digital art business. That's it. I don't really. If people ask more, it's tough, man, because just to explain an NFT, you have to then explain the blockchain and crypto. Like if people don't know anything about crypto, like good luck explaining an NFT, right? So I basically just keep it to digital art, and my family just kind of, they don't really ask many questions, but they know I'm very into crypto and NFTs, but they're very dismissive of the entire thing, and they also think it's like very risky. But part of that reason is because I got a lot of my family into SafeMoon when I bought it originally. So their impression on crypto is a very bad like the CEO of SafeMoon just got arrested and he's being charged right now by the FBI. So it's kind of crazy, man, how things evolve, from 2 years ago. But
It wasn't a good look or a good first impression
not at
for those
all, man.
for
No,
them.
they don't want to hear crypto anything now. I should have showed them Hedera or Solana or something better. It was SafeMoon, man.
What does a typical day look like for you as a founder? Also, combined with your personal life and everything else that you got going on.
Um, a typical day, I don't know, man. It's tough to call any day typical because there's just a lot going on. So I certainly wake up and check Discord and Twitter, right? Because the space moves so fast. So even again, like if I wasn't a founder, I would be doing the same thing. So I really do feel that's an important aspect to um, a lot of founders or people running projects, right? Like the passion should be authentic, right? If you're a person that's going to be here every day, those are the people that I feel would make good founders. So yeah, every day I would wake up, check Discord, check the charts, um, check all the NFT bags or coins I have, stuff like that, and hop into the Discord, say good morning. And Monday to Friday I'm working, so I'll be heading to work. But luckily my full time job, I drive around a lot, so I usually I'm able to throw my wireless headphone in and listen in on spaces, things like that. Like you guys host your Cabby Labs spaces, and usually I'm at work when you guys are doing those, right? So I can usually listen. Sometimes I can speak. It depends on my day. But I'm pretty fortunate. My full-time job does allow me a lot of freedom, right? If I was working a job where I couldn't look at my phone for 9 hours a day, that would be tough, man. It would be tough to combine the two, to do both at the same time. But yeah, luckily my full-time gives me a lot of freedom. So um yeah, my daily, I would, and then I go to work, keep up to date in Discord when I have time in between calls, head home, and then it's full-time ADSC at that point, from the home from work to the evening. We do some fun things too. Like it's not all hard work, right? Like we do movie night, which you're aware of. We have fight night tonight every Saturday night as well. So it's fun. Like I think there's a lot of aspects to this gig that are fun, and it's the community is a big part of that. Right, I enjoy spending time in the Discord and with our community members. So yeah, I would say that it's hard to give an average day because there's a lot of changing parts, but that's about as average as it gets. Yeah.
Nice. And what would you say has been your biggest challenge so far for you personally at After Dark Social Club?
Definitely managing overworking or not getting burnt out, I would say, because there's been, and this is where I have to say, having a co-founder like Ray has been a blessing. It's really been a benefit for us because there's moments where maybe I'm feeling a little burnt out and I want to take a little break for that day, not be as active, but Ray will be he'll pick up the ball and he'll be active, right? So it's kind of, I was talking to him yesterday about this. I said it's really cool that we're both super passionate, right? So it's like between the two of us, there's usually always somebody on board, and of course we got a great team as well. So um but yeah, it that I would say is tough, right? Because you always got to be attentive, ready for things that might happen, uh, and it's tough to give your all the time, right? In any kind of field, I feel like being a founder in Web3, or involved in any project in Web3, it's just a different game, right? It's like it's there's always people in the Discord, there's always people talking. You kind of it's important to have, like, things could happen when you're asleep. So luckily we've had a lot of smooth sailing for the most part. And I'll tell you what, minting was my biggest fear in as far as running the project went. Mint, because I have seen in my time in the ecosystem, I have seen a lot of really great projects with great teams and stuff. The mints, something happens, like something happens, and mint is a very important stage. And you guys uh, did our mint, right? You guys were the launch pad, and really we owe a lot of our success to you guys at Kabila, especially in the early stages, because that mint, it was a very big mint for H bar, right? 3600 plus, and it was smooth as butter, really. I remember a lot of people were really happy with Kabila's launch pad and how smooth it was. And honestly, I can't be more thankful and grateful for that, because I just know, man, mint is a very nerve wracking moment, and if anything goes wrong, it's just a nightmare, man. Like that's where people are pulling their hair out. And leading up to mint was really tough too, because the art curation, working out traits that don't go together and things like that. And we're gonna be doing that again. Well, I'm sure you're gonna get to that question later, but that stage of nerve wracking is coming back, right? It's gonna be coming back up upon us. But we're a lot more excited because we're working with a lot smaller of a supply, so it shouldn't be as stressful. But with 3600, man, it was tough, and there was a lot that could go wrong. So we're forever grateful to you guys at Kabila, because yeah, it's a very important thing to get right, and you guys knocked it out of the park. So couldn't be more happy with that. Like really, you guys are a big part of our story, so it's cool to be interviewed by you guys.
I remember it very clearly actually, and as you were talking about, that moment and the fear and the also I guess the like that sense of feeling, I don't know, ecstatic, or the adrenaline of that moment, and how it was such a big moment, I feel, for the whole community, because everyone was so invested in that mint, like not just your community and Kabila, but the whole H bar community. I get
Yeah,
tingles on the back of my neck as I say it, and you
yeah, it was a
guys,
great time.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, looking forward to the question later, and what's coming up for sure.
For sure, man.
um, but to on the flip side of that biggest challenge, which you've said is finding that balance and not overworking, and also leaning on the team, which I think is like you say, a blessing. I really don't know how one man shows make it work over time. Like
Me
it's so
neither.
inspiring to me. Yeah,
Me
it blows
neither,
my mind.
man. My hat's off to them, or even a small team. My hat's off to them.
Yeah.
Like for sure, a team makes such a big difference, man. And shout out to our team, because they're really amazing. So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So how do you disconnect and recharge? Like what do you do?
Well, you touched on it. You definitely touched on it, man. Having a team, like not just Ray, but we also have Fossil, Deruler, guy 69. He might not. He doesn't like to call himself a team member, but he's definitely a team member, and Jiggy, and we just have like a solid community, a solid group of team members as well. That again, they're all super active, man. It's something that uh, it's hard to find people that are genuinely passionate about this space, let alone have them on your team. So we're really fortunate in that regard. So same ways uh, as with Ray, any of us are kind of feeling off or like taking a break. The we'll have the people in the specific roles cover for others. So there last night, me and Ray, we went to a Solana conference actually in Toronto. We had intended to run our space, but it was really loud over there. Like there was no way we were going to be able to run it from there. And then so Fossil was able to. I don't know how many people went in the space. He said it wasn't a big turnout, but either way, it's nice to have people that can still take things over in your stead, right? So I think that's it's important to manage with burnout. So
For sure.
luckily though, man, it takes a lot for me to get burnt out, and same thing with Ray. Like I said, like I'm voluntarily in this space. Even if I wasn't a founder, I'd be pretty active.
What's something outside of Web3 that you love?
Music would have to be the one I'd have to say right away. I'm not sure if you're aware, but I make music as a hobby. I produce hip hop and stuff. So, it's fun actually. With Ray also does it as well. We both make music together. So,
Yeah.
actually with the upcoming Mint, where when we have some promotional stuff coming out, we're actually gonna be um yeah, we're gonna have some original music for to work with the marketing. So it'll be fun. But that's definitely my passion, man. Yeah, I have a little mini studio over here as well. And it's a nice creative outlet to have. But
Um,
it comes in phases, like like I get the bug where I want to make music, and then there's months where I don't. So, but it's definitely my biggest passion. Yeah.
where would you, like, looking into the future, where would you like to see yourself and After Dark Social Club, let's say in 5 years?
Um, yeah, man, that's a great question. We're actually uh there's things that we're working on that we just have not been pushed out yet. So it's tough to it's tough to predict how they're gonna perform for us in the long term. Um, at the end of the day, we know that sustainability is important, and so we've actually we've actually gotten together as a team, especially even very recently, and we've actually discussed um, long-term business plans and uh, ideas that can generate revenue, things like that, because uh, we 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 definitely treat this as a business, right? We understand that it's a fine line in Web3, but at the same time, I do think that the it's even tough for me to call NFT projects, right? Because I really do feel like I understand there's some that are art based and do great, but for the most part, most of the NFT projects that do good are run as businesses, right? So, um, we've kind of taken that approach, um, with coming up with revenue generating utilities, and also things that could benefit. If they don't generate revenue, we're trying to come up with things that benefit the ecosystem as a whole, just so that it's beneficial to us, or to the ecosystem, which also benefits us, right? So, um, we in 5 years, it's tough to say because NFTs move so fast, and just to be here after 1 year, uh, it means a lot. But we certainly plan to be here in 5 years, in 10 years, in 15 years, as long as NFTs are a thing. And I think with this recent run, I think it's given a lot of people hope, because I know a lot of people were doubting if NFTs would get a second wind, right? But I think we've seen evidence when the underlying asset goes up, NFTs NFTs are a thing. The best thing that people can look at with like Solana pumping, I know it's tough. A lot of alts didn't pump, but Solana went crazy. But what I've witnessed is there's people that didn't get into that ecosystem for a very long time. Now that the price 3x's in 3 weeks, now they're all interested in it, right? Um, and a lot of the NFTs are flourishing as well, because people who had the underlying asset are 3x richer, 4x richer, right? It matters a lot for the NFT ecosystem. So I do think we'll have another run as well in H bar. I think there's going to be a lot of excitement coming to H bar. Um, Unfortunately, price matters. So like when that happens, I don't know when it's going to happen. When it happens, people will flock here, and the NFT ecosystem will definitely catch another wave. So, um, our plan is to be here in 5 years and to be thriving. We're working on how to generate revenue even in a bear market, right? Because that's also a tough thing. We're very thankful we minted in a bear market, because it's allowed us to taper our expectations, and I do feel like it's tough, um, for projects that might have minted when everything's a bull run and money's coming in, and it gives you a skewed perspective, right? It's night and day compared to when it turns into a bear market. So, I think for us, we kind of have the benefit of we haven't really been through a bull market, an NFT bull market yet, since we've minted. So we're excited um, to be positioned for that when it happens. But we're also definitely um, we're working on a lot of things that can sustain us as a business, right? Beyond being an NFT project. So I know it's a long-winded answer, but it's a tough question, you know. So
For sure, for
yeah.
sure. So I'm going to put you on the spot with the next one. But
Hmm.
as you're a founder, like you said, that spends, even if you weren't a founder, you'd still spend the amount of time in the community, and you know you show up as a founder, but you show up as just another community member, right? A very active one. So which other project or founder do you secretly admire or look up to?
Oh, that's a good question, man. Secretly, I don't know about secretly, but for sure, for sure, this is gonna sound like a paid ad, but legit, like Adrian from Kabila. Um, he's just he's uh he's a go getter, man. Like, um, for example, when we had in the early days in our Discord, right, and we were kind of catching a buzz. A lot of people were joining. Adrian and you guys at Kabila, you guys had actually DM'd us basically before any other launch pad, and I like um, the hustle that Adrian has, um, and also the risk, right? Because we were a new project, but he still was the first one to reach out to us and to give us an opportunity to speak to him, right? And to to let him know what we're doing, and he gave us the opportunity to present our case, basically to pitch, right? And we were very new at the time. A lot of the established launch pads, some of them um, we had hit up, and some of them had told us like there's like an 8 month queue or a 9 month queue and stuff like that. We were like, oh, okay. So it was interesting, you know. And I think it was a really great business decision as well, though, from Adrian, because it was a big mint, and like you said, a lot of people were present for it. It felt like the entire community was minting. So I feel like it was a great business decision for Kabila as well. So as far as a stress test goes, and for people to see how a launchpad could perform under pressure like that, and I admire things like that. I admire people that chase opportunity, you know, and takes. You have to take some risks to push things to the next level. So, yeah, in H bar, I would definitely say Adrian is one of my uh, favorite founders that I look up to. I also really like Will from Dead Pixels. I just like the way he thinks. I've heard him
Mm.
speak quite a few times, and uh, I resonate with a lot of what he says. And then there's Solana as well. There's a few projects on Solana. Um, it's interesting because Frank was actually one of my inspirations. But my opinion on him has kind of swayed in the last few months, right? But I would be lying if I said he didn't inspire um if he didn't inspire me and Ray, because in the early days, and I still feel like he has this mentality. He's just uh, I don't want to get into that whole discussion, but he definitely what I admired is how much he cared about his community, and how much he would do to take care of them, you know. So
Mm.
that's what I admired about him. But there's a lot of really great founders, man. I think uh, it's kind of like a thankless job sometimes, but there's a lot of really great people doing really great things on HBAR, on Solana, on Ethereum, on a lot of chains. So I just love to see people building, man. Uh, I want people to succeed. You know, I think especially in HBAR right now, things are really dry. You know, like I know, remember we had like a bunch of mints coming out, and everybody would band together, like who are these guys and what's this project? But now we have nothing minting, man. Like it, it's kind of nice to have a little bit of mystery and who are these guys, and it shows you people are interested in the ecosystem, right? So I'm actually hoping like we see some new projects come over and start minting again. I feel like it would bring some excitement. But of course, we got to keep away the bad actors, and HBAR is good at doing that, so I'm not worried there. But yeah, I'm excited for other people's success. I think it pushes everybody forward here, you know. So
Couldn't agree more. I love that answer. Now we have a series of Fangang questions. Shout out to the Fangang because I must say it's been the most questions I've received from any community, so from any project
nice.
that we've interviewed. So that was awesome, and I think we got some fun ones. So you ready for
I'm ready, man. I'm ready. I'm sure some are going to be interesting. I've seen a few. They look good.
them? All right. So first one here we've got from Derula, and I feel like you've touched on this a little bit. Why do you only have good-looking people on the team and perfect tens as community members?
Man, I don't know, dude. I don't know. That one's a valid question. Like anytime anybody doxes, I gotta say I'm impressed. I'm impressed. We just got a cool community of people, man. I don't know how else I can put it. The ruler is a part of that. I mean, the guy's like 6'7", right? I mean, talk about good looking. There's a lot of girls that only go for guys over 6'3", right? He makes the special cut, you know. I don't know, man. It's just a cool community. We're fortunate. There's a lot of ways where we're just fortunate, you know, with the community we got. Couldn't be happier. Yeah,
Nice.
it's a funny question though.
Shout out to the ruler.
Yeah, man.
The next one, there's two questions actually. So the first one, this is from Alpha Romero. What makes you so stealthy? And I'm curious, where does that name come from as well? Like, what
It,
makes you so stealthy?
it's funny because I kind of touched on this as well earlier. So the the name Stealthy Ninja, it came from one of those two projects I was trying to launch. So um my actual original alias for like the first few years in crypto was EMZEE, which is just my initials spelled out. Because my first name is Marc, my last name starts with Z, so it was MZ. And then one of those projects was gonna be called Sneaky Ninjas. That was our idea, man. It was Sneaky Ninjas, and so um, we all on the team had like names of our own an adjective, and then a ninja, something ninja. So mine was very uncreative, and I just took another word for sneaky, and it was stealthy. It's like the stupidest way um, that I got my name, and I had kept that name when I was engaging in other communities, and it just became my name. And I don't know, I liked it better than MZ. Like I still like that for music and stuff, but stealthy, it's just like it's my name now. So yeah, that's an interesting origin story where it came from.
All right, there you have it. And his Alpha Romero's second question is, what has been the biggest lesson running a project through a bear market?
Uh that's a great one. How important sustainability is, and fund management and preservation for sure. Uh, there's a lot of scenarios where I think we could have made some bad decisions, and maybe we wouldn't be here anymore. You know, it's a tough market to survive, and you really need every resource you can. So I think the biggest lesson in a bear is, you know, resource management, um, having as much of a runway as possible, right? So the money that you do have or that you did earn, um, to make it last, and also to make it work for you and generate more revenue, right? Like it's all about sustaining. That's what I would say. Like the bear market, that's the biggest hurdle, and um, that's something that unfortunately we've seen a lot of great projects, you know, fall victim um, to maybe not managing things properly, or yeah, the bear market's rough. So I wouldn't wish it on anybody. I do feel like, again, us minting when it was kind of the start of the bear market has helped, because it's kind of been a bad climate since we've been here. So um I feel like it's a lot different if you mint uh when H bar's at 50 cents, right?
Mm-hmm.
And maybe your treasury it was in 50-cent H bar, and then it dropped out. Like there's a lot of things that can happen. Like I think that's one of the things that happened to D Gods is they had a lot of their Solana when it was above like 150 $200, and they'd never apparently they never sold it into USD. So uh,
Wow.
it's yeah, things like that, the underlying asset, managing that and stuff. It's tough, but yeah, no, that's definitely the challenge is being relevant, right? In a bear market, it's tough.
Yeah, and I think, like you say, treasury management is such a overlooked, or yeah, overlooked. Like you say, you're running a business, right? You're managing money, so it's definitely a, especially in a bear, quite a crucial element.
Yeah, yeah, and the other thing is, like the less you can dip into that in a bear market, the better, because ev- when you spend, when you spend H bar at and it's at 5 cents, that H bar is worth a lot more at 10 cents and a lot more at 25 cents, right? So there's things like that as well, like trying to avoid even having to make payouts until the underlying asset is back up. Like it's been down only since we minted. Basically, I think we minted, it was around 8 cents. I don't think it's been at 8 cents like since we minted. So we're hoping that that area comes back 8-10 cents. I think, I don't want to go into a market talk right now, but I do think we'll be getting that in the next few months. I think H bar is going to have its day. So I'm excited.
On the topic of that, the next question from Amarok Daniel,
Shout
what
out, I
made
like him.
yeah, what made you pick H bar over Solana? And he's going to put you on the spot here. Do you hold more Solana or H bar?
That's a funny question, man, because I basically, the recent pump showed me I don't have enough of either, man. I'm not kidding. I have like point 0.4 something Solana and maybe like 300. It's equal on both, man. I got like not enough of either. I got all kinds of NFTs though, I'll tell you that, man. I got a wallet full of NFTs on both ecosystems. I have way more NFTs on H bar. Like it's not even a question. Not even including the ADSC NFTs. I got a lot more. Um but what made me choose it, or us choose it, because Ray is in that discussion too. We both decided. Um, it I just I've been very cross chain heavy for a long time. I explored a lot of ecosystems before I found Solana, and after that, I'd explored all kinds before I found H bar, and I haven't had like the eureka moment, or um, I just have never been so impressed with using I know it's not a chain, it's a hash graph, but I've never been so impressed diving into an ecosystem. Um, yeah, HBAR and Solana are the only two where they really, um, they just gave me a different feeling when using them. I will say, Hashpack, a big shout out to them, because their wallet was uh, a lot of the first interacting I did with HBAR, and I do feel like they did a lot for the ecosystem at that time, because that wallet, it's still to this day very impressive. I'm a big fan of Hashpack and everything they've done. Um, so that wallet was a very unique wallet for me to experience, compared to all these other chains. And when I saw things like secure trade,
Mm.
um, the staking without uh without having to worry about locking it, like you could spend it and it would automatically unstake it. um there's just a lot of things about the ecosystem that really impressed me, and it showed me that there's people here that they just get it, right? Like, to have secure trade for NFTs built in to the wallet, that's something that, like, even like Phantom and these other ecosystems doesn't have. So it's really cool that they had the foresight to think of these things. So it impressed me, and me and Ray just started, let's dive into the ecosystem a little bit. And I met Deruler, met a lot of community members. We just loved it here. Ray started hopping on late night spaces, and he was getting around on the Twitter spaces, and he met some people that he's gonna be friends with like forever, So yeah, H bar is a really special community, and now obviously there's been a lot come and go since then, because of the market and stuff. But um, still, there's a lot of people that were just. It's nice to see, like, you've been here as well, like from the beginning. It's nice to see other people, and other teams flourish. Amarok,
Mm.
right? Shroomies, like, um, it's really cool to see them do well as well. Like, we've been fans of them, and you guys as well. So it's nice to see It's nice to see like you guys and some of these other teams that were also new at the time when we were. I know you guys weren't new, but you certainly didn't have uh, the reputation you have now. You know, like you guys have done so much in such a short amount of time. Same thing with Shroomy. So yeah, it's nice to see.
Absolutely, absolutely. And this next question is from Slime Tugs. I don't know if that's how it's pronounced, but I'm going to say it like that. Um, what did you think After Dark Social Club would be when you first had the idea?
Ah, yeah, that's a very good question too. I think we've always kind of envisioned um more than a community, a network. So uh aside from the business aspect side of things, and like I had said, it's kind of a little bit answered from earlier, which is like we wanted to take things um that we liked from projects, essentially all the things we liked and all the things we didn't like, and put that into the After Dark. So that was what kicked off the idea originally. Was we both been a part of so many communities that we wanted to we really felt that there was a happy medium that we could combine aspects of projects we liked. As far as like the concept and vampires and all the lore and stuff, that kind of just came together while we were brainstorming ideas, and we knew we wanted something that was humanoid but not a human. It still had some sort of gimmick to it, right? And we landed on vampires, which we had both discussed. It's been done quite a bit in lore and stuff, but in the NFT ecosystem, it really wasn't. There wasn't that many vampires. Still, there's not. There's one on Solana, and it's funny, those guys came out after we had already started doing our concepts and stuff, and we actually met the founder of that project now a year later. It's kind of funny how things go. But yeah, we thought there's not a lot of vampire projects that we're aware of, and we thought it was a good base where we could really expand into lore and stuff like that. And our community definitely evolved in certain ways that we didn't predict, like how involved we are in watching fights and stuff like that. Like our whole community really loves fight nights, and we bet on the fights and stuff like that. And um, yeah, like it's kind of cool that sometimes things go in their own direction like that. Like we've certainly never envisioned being a fight centric project. But here we are streaming fights every Saturday. So
There
it's
you go.
fun. Yeah.
Nice. The next one is from Milk Fetish. Is Marc short for Marco? That's the first question.
I don't
Is it
like this
short for
next
Marco?
one.
Oh, you know it already, right?
I know.
Also,
I saw the question. Yeah.
do you have a clown fang from the original collection?
Yeah, he knows I don't. He knows I don't, man. I'm not happy about that. Everybody was getting clowns, man. I don't even remember how many I minted. I must have minted 40 or something. I didn't get one clown, dude. I didn't get
Is that the
anything.
most? Is that the
It,
most sought after?
yeah, man. It's not the most rare trait, but it is. I would say it's the most sought after. I think there's 32 of them in the entire collection. They're pretty rare. I mean, that's a 1% um of the entire collection, but Uh, it's a good trait, man. Like it is a really unique trait, in terms of how it looks compared to the
Yeah.
other traits. So I've always wanted one, but they've always been too expensive, man. They've always been like 3,000 H bars. So it's been tough to get one. And I'm also a little bit sad because Josh, aka Guy69, like he was giving them away like hotcakes. Like when we originally minted, he was giving them away to everybody, and I'm like, man, you don't give me one. So I'm kind of sad I didn't get one, but yeah, that's like the most popular sub trait we have, or there's a DAO formed around it too. So they all kind of make fun of me that I don't have one. As far as the Marco, it's a good question because my background is actually Italian, but no, my
Okay.
name is just Marc. There is no O.
So now I've got a few questions from Space Ape. Some really good ones actually. The first one is, what do you do in your personal life to give you the energy to show up in such a big way for your community?
That's a really great question. Um, I definitely think, man, it's gonna sound it might sound a bit weird, but legit, I don't have a girl, I don't have kids, man. I think I I think that helps a lot in terms of, like I don't have many responsibilities aside from I work a lot. I do work a lot, like my full-time job, and I do I have another job I do as well on the side. But both are very free jobs where I can be on spaces or talk on Twitter and stuff like that. Um, but I think like your lifestyle matters, you need to get your sleep, um,
Mhm.
eat healthy. Like I mean I don't eat the healthiest, but I definitely have been eating a lot healthier in the last few months. You just gotta have I think healthy habits is important because again, getting burnt out is not the way to go. And so uh if you're overworking yourself, you're gonna get burnt out and then you're gonna crash. Uh and then your community is not gonna be able to get a hold of you. So um yeah, I think for me personally, it's I've just been fortunate where I'm in a position where I can dedicate to the ADSC, and
Mhm.
this endeavor. So for sure, that's I I think I'm just in good circumstances.
Nice.
Or yeah,
And this one's a real fun one. If you could have any one superpower, what would it be?
that one is man, that's a tough one. I get torn on this one, man. I definitely I like what's the word? Um, less like conventional superpowers. You know what I mean? Like I know people want to fly and be invisible. Man, I would like to like read thoughts, or maybe telekinesis. Some Magneto stuff would be sick. Like not having to get up and make a coffee to just whip it up with my hand and uh, move it over. Just telekinetically pull it to myself and drink it. Like that'd be nice, man. Not having to lift fingers. So yeah, I'll go with telekinesis. That's my pick.
Nice. Sounds like efficiency, like taking everything to the next level with that
Yeah,
with that
yeah. Not
superpower.
even needing to have my phone in my hand, man. Holy, I could be way more of a degen.
Nice. Talking about degen, what do you love most about the NFT space?
Uh, I don't know. I can't put my finger on it. I'll tell you what. It's a problem though. I love it too much because there's moments in the market where I know NFTs are not the right thing to be buying. And I know that there's cycles, right, where the interest might, is going to come back to NFTs, and it's probably not a good thing to spend money on in the interim, right, when things are bad. But I don't know, man. I always like I'm always buying NFTs. I don't know what it is. Um, I I I like buying art. I like the aspect. I really like the aspect of trait hunting and what's rare. The whole generative aspect of NFTs has always been something that I really liked, right? Like just the fact that every image is unique and um, you can find some really cool combinations of traits from a lot of projects. Like you guys got some really cool really cool traits in the CWAS. So it's cool when you're like looking for those specific traits, like the crown. I know DeRuler loves crowns. And the other thing about NFTs is really interesting is people's different tastes in art. Like there's certain fangs I really like that like Ray hates, or certain traits I really like that Ray hates, and vice versa. So it's interesting to see people's different how subjective art can be sometimes.
Hmm. For sure.
But I just love buying pictures, man. I don't know why. I can't give you like a real good answer.
Fair enough. Talking of the devil himself, though, Ray Ray, I've saved his question, the best question, till last, and it's very concise. It's please ask when hashtag Fempire. Thanks.
Yeah, yeah, that's one that's been hitting us from all over. Yeah, we're looking at end of or sorry, beginning of next year, really early next year. So, well, we're looking at very early in Q1 is what I'll say. We have said it earlier, so it's funny he asked that, but he knows like everybody else is asking. We have people that join the hop in Discord and just say when Fempire. They're coming, but at the same time, We want to make sure that every single one is really good. Like we want to take the time to curate the art down quite a bit. So um, we want to make sure everything is ready to go. We got the time, so there's no need to rush it, right? And we also have a lot of other things that are going to be rolled out at the same time as Fempirement. So it's really not just the Fempires, but it's also um revamped staking. Like the entire staking site is being redone. I'm not sure if you're aware, but there's a lot of like bugs and issues that basically just we cannot fix until we redo the entire platform. Like it had to be redone. And that's actually progressing at a great pace, and we actually saw a demo of it recently. So there's a lot of other things that are coming out with the mint of Fempires, and so they're kind of like ushering in the next phase, I would say, for the ADSC. So it's exciting, man. It's exciting, and I can't wait. Time flies. Like we're already Q1 sounds far. It's like 1 month, a month and a half, not even. So yeah, we're pretty close. We're pretty close to Vampires. Pretty soon, people are gonna see them. So we're excited, man. We're excited for people to get their hands on those. I can't wait.
Nice. And I always love to, at the end, I always like to finish with asking the guest if there was, what's one question you wish I'd asked, and how would you have answered, if there is one?
That's a tough one. I don't know, man. Your questions were great. I actually really enjoyed your questions. They're a lot, like you said, like it suits the title of the show, getting personal. It's a lot more of a personal angle. I don't know, man. Maybe I I already answered it anyways, but maybe like asking how we got in touch with Kabila, or how we um became familiarized with each other would have been a cool one, just because like I said, I had already mentioned it, but it was really cool how like Adrian hit us up early, in the Discord, and took a chance on us. So never gonna forget him and Kabila for that. And I think you guys, I don't want to turn this on Alpha on you, but you guys got some stuff coming out soon as well in Q4, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe Q1 of next year. But I've seen some stuff, and I'm really excited for those as well. We could use some of the tools you guys are whipping up there, and I'm really excited. And I just want to take the time as well to thank you guys. Um, you guys are really doing a lot just for the entire ecosystem, and you're investing and betting on the NFT ecosystem coming back more than anybody, right? Like you guys are building the tools out for teams to use and stuff like that. And again, as somebody that does experience other ecosystems, like Kabila's tools are really top tier, really top tier. So yeah, it's people like you, Amarok, Shroomies, even NFT. Like I really, really admire the true builders of the space. We're doing NFT projects, which are great, and there's a lot you can do with those. But I consider, you guys like, you guys really push the space forward. Like to call you guys an NFT project would be dismissive. You know what I mean? So yeah, I just want to thank you guys for all you've done. You guys really helped us out as well. Like I said, with the mint and everything like that, and helping us with questions, and making changes to the tools and stuff on the fly. Like really, really, I want to give you guys flowers. You guys are doing awesome. So I love to see it because it's really benefiting the entire ecosystem here. So yeah,
It means
happy
a
to see
lot,
it.
and I'm sure when the team, like say Adrian, Manu, they listen to this, they'll really appreciate the words. And I think,
Shout out to Mano too, man. I shouldn't. Manu's he's a little bit more in the background, right? But he's an awesome guy too. We've spoken as well. He's a nice guy, man.
yeah, he's in the background, tunnel vision. He's
Hmm.
he's he's after it.
Cooking, man. He's cooking.
Yeah. But no, we exist. We exist for projects like yourself. We get inspired every day, and we really are just building out the ecosystem to support you guys and everyone else building. And I don't think we've seen anything yet. So it might be quiet
100%.
now, but like we're laying the foundation for what's to come. And I don't
And I
think we've
can't
seen
wait.
anything. Yeah.
I can't wait. You guys doing amazing. Legit, like the tools are so smooth and yeah, it's like it's I'm excited, man, especially once we get the new hip and things like that. Like I'm really excited to see where the space goes. I think 2024 is going to be a doozy for HBAR, man. And the ecosystem in general. So, we're excited. Definitely excited.
Absolutely. Well, that's it. That's I just really appreciate you doing this, man. Appreciate your
Oh,
time.
likewise.
And big shout out to the community as well for being super engaged with this interview. And I hope they enjoy getting personal with you.
Likewise, man. I had a great time, Jack. It's always a pleasure, man. So, hop in UFC night tonight and movie night on Tuesday if you got time.
Awesome.
Yeah.
We'll do that. Take care,
All right,
brother.
man. Likewise. Have a good one, man.